life. We fought off and on like a lot of fathers and sons do. And I had the privilege of meeting Bobby's dad too. Real nice people.
Yeah.
And I'm just a big supporter. And to sit here last night and see him win like that with my name on the car for the first time,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
just real
pretty
proud
cool.
of it.
Yeah, we got some photos of you. If you look at all the internet racing websites, dirttrackdigest.com and the like, there's all photos of you down there smiling, having a great time in victory lane. Where does that compare to all the things you've done, being here watching a car with your name on it win at the mile?
Oh, it's great. I've never had my name on a car. It's really cool. My dad used to sponsor number 98 Indy car back in the 70s. But yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool, and I'm looking forward to the sun coming out.
Yep.
And
We all are.
Good luck to
That's
all
no lie.
or happy landings to all the other drivers, and happy landings and good luck to Bobby Varon.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're allowed to be a Bobby Varon fan. He's got the T-shirt on. I mean, you're supporting him, and it's great to have you here at Super Dirt Week. We hope you have a great time. We appreciate you coming on the show.
Yes,
I mean, this has been awesome, and
Spending the weekend.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
And Bobby, what'd you do with that trophy girl you had last night anyway? I know he had to go home to his girlfriend Brenda. What happened to her? I'm happily single. All right, you guys.
well, thank you very much,
Yes,
sir. It
thanks
was a
for
pleasure.
coming on,
It
man.
was a pleasure. Thanks for coming over and getting Robbie Knievel here on the 31st lap. And good luck with those jumps.
Yes.
We hope to see you on TV.
Happy landings.
Oh,
Very
yeah.
good.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, man.
I guess I could leave your headphones.
Yeah, you can leave the headphones. Thank you. We really
Thanks.
appreciate it. How about a hand again, race fans? Robbie Knievel here with us. Bobby Varon came on right before that. Again, Dover Dave Cruikshank here. Mr. Varon, nice to see you as well. Have a good one and good luck again to those guys. And that's awesome.
That was cool.
That was neat.
Yeah,
That wasn't
That was
expected.
a surprise.
pretty
No,
cool.
that was a surprise. That was a surprise. So.
You grab that camera for me just a minute and spin it just a touch that way so that Rich isn't off. When that thing blew over, it shifted the camera. So just bring it that way just a little bit. That way, there we go.
We didn't bring. We must have forgot
You're
the wide
fine.
angle.
Just a little more. Just a little more.
You're okay. You can't break it. Chris already dropped it 4 times.
Don't hurt yourself.
There we go. Well, it's gonna fight back a little. That'll do.
That'll do.
Yeah.
That'll do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a little wider than Bobby and Robbie Knievel.
Yeah. You got a little bit.
Trying to
thicker.
work me all
You
the way
think?
back in the shot.
So
Got some.
what?
So we just interviewed Robbie Knievel.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Now we've
That's
had 2 stuntmen on
That's
the show.
yeah. I
We've
was just
had
gonna say
two
that's the
stuntmen on this show.
second stuntman of the year.
Yep.
That's cool.
All variations of motorsports.
we say we try to cover it all.
And we do cover it all, and we do have again. I always like to send a thanks to those guys, Bobby Varon and Robbie Knievel, obviously, and the whole gang. Bobby Varon, always one of the first guys. Anytime we ask him, he'll come right on over. Never has a problem. Always wants to be on the show whenever we can get him, and that does mean a lot. It's nice to have the support of the drivers over there in the pit area.
Big time.
It definitely makes this show that much more fun. And thanks to the fans that were here watching and that are hanging out with us
Yeah,
still. And
absolutely. It's a kind of a crappy day right now, so thanks for coming out.
yeah, looking at the weather though, the good thing is the rain has stopped. Since we've been on live on the air, the rain has stopped. So
Yeah,
we're,
the rain has quit. They were calling at this point from here on out, it's something about a 70% chance of rain. So look on the bright side, there's a 30% chance the sun's going to come out.
That's
So-
right.
And we were, by all rights, we weren't supposed to get those 20s in yesterday.
No.
We were supposed to have weather.
No, it
by
didn't
all
look
rights.
good at all.
So-
and
Which
we were
hopefully that
fine.
doesn't mean that we pretty much shot all the luck out of the can there.
No, I think Mother Nature's a race fan this weekend.
I'm hoping so.
Yeah, me too.
You have any commercials you want to do today, or?
We got something that we can get to. We're about a half hour in. We're about 25 minutes in. We've got all the time in the world right now, no interruptions, and there's certainly not any pressure coming trackside. So I just want to make a quick note. We've got about 30 people watching online. Tell Doug that I know,
Okay.
and I'm trying.
Okay, bud. Just
That's
wanted
why.
to make sure.
That's why we lost most of the Robbie Knievel interview on the live stream.
But we have it on.
We got 3 different recorders going, so the
Thank
Amy's
goodness.
checkered flag situation won't happen again.
That is awesome. Thankfully.
Yeah, we
So-
don't want that. That was
So
ugly.
we've talked about what happened this past week. We've talked about all the results and things like that. You want to hop into what is going on today in terms of the Gander Mountain?
Well, I've got all these.
150?
I got all these cool overlays that I made, but it seems like every time I bring them up, that the live stream stuff starts getting real unstable. So we're
Okay.
gonna let that stuff go.
You want to?
The racing action today. We're supposed to have the Sportsman race coming up this afternoon around 4:30, following the 150. I don't know if that is or isn't going to happen at this point.
No, when I talked to Jeff Hockman, he said
Well, I'm not
They're
talking.
gonna-
I'm not talking about whether it will or won't happen through the course of the day, but if the order is going to change.
Right, that's exactly what he said. He goes, we're going to look at the window, see how much time we have, because they don't have the Musco lights. Those are not here anymore. So
Yeah, they
it will
pulled them
be-
out of here last
Yeah,
night.
it will be a daytime show only. That's what I was informed of. So, again, all things are subject to change. But that's the schedule they're going with. They're going to look at it when they get the track back. How much time do we have? What can we fit into that time and get it done right? And that's what they're going to focus on today. And again, a lot of things that go on today. The Gander Mountain 150. You have the Sportsman feature. You have the Sportsman non-qualifiers races. To get into that event.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, right. And we have 2 of those, and there's 19 cars scheduled in the first one and 18 cars scheduled in the second one.
Great field of sportsmen here this
Yeah,
weekend.
it is a very strong field of sportsman drivers. And, of course, it's all going to be capped off tonight over at Rolling Wheels if that's where you want to go. Or you can head on down to 5 Mile Point for the Short Track Super Nationals. Whatever your fancy is, wings and things, then you head on over to Rolling Wheels and get modifieds and the World of Outlaws, or you go down and watch Deo's show down there at 5 Mile Point. It's averaged 70 cars, I believe, every year that he's
Yeah.
at it. So,
Yeah, Brett's done a great
And he's
great job
added
on
one.
that show.
He's added one.
and
The
yeah,
big
we
news-
talked last night. Big news out of the media luncheon here this week was that Brett Deo and Stuart Friesen, yeah, that's correct, you heard that properly. They will be promoting the Dirty Jersey 60 down at the New Egypt Speedway. So the Super Dirt Car Series is making its return to the Garden State.
What was the date on that, Mike? It was June.
June 10th.
It's in
something.
June. Hold on, let me. I got it here in my stack of things that Chris so nicely printed out for me. So if you want to chat for a second, and I'll.
Well, I mean, we're-
I'm
you know,
looking. I'm looking.
What else was also announced in that was there was a
Tuesday,
whole.
June 18th. There you go.
June 18th.
You
Well,
got
I filled that gap with a bunch of marbles in my mouth. That was great.
Yeah, yeah.
At least
that's
you
good.
opened it. It's
Hey,
okay.
you were there. We're good. We're Johnny on the spot today, right? Hey,
We're trying to be.
that's how live works, right?
It
That's
is,
how
it is.
live
Well, I mean-
stuff works.
Let's spend some time and focus directly on the 150. We did our picks last night. John so daringly ventured out to pick Billy Decker after he completely snubbed
Hey,
Ronnie
I'm
Johnson.
sorry. How
I
do you
thought that
go
was
against
a,
that?
Yeah, he's wearing.
How do you go against Billy Decker in this race?
He's wearing a Jack Johnson hat, and his wife's wearing a Ronnie Johnson sweatshirt.
Jack Johnson isn't racing.
And his wife is wearing a Ronnie Johnson sweatshirt, and he picks Billy Decker. Come on,
Hey,
I picked Ronnie Johnson.
you asked me who I thought's going to win. Realistically,
your pick?
Billy Decker is the best shot.
Well,
You
I'm
sure you don't
looking
want to
at-
back out of that yet?
I was
sure.
I was made aware that I picked a driver who wasn't even in the field, but I'm pretty sure I saw Vic Coffey's name on that lineup sheet.
Let me look
Yeah, I
here.
think he's
Vic
in there.
Coffey is starting 23rd. He's in. So here's the lineup. I'll give the lineup.
Yeah,
I won't go through the
so
whole
maybe
lineup.
somebody home needs to take a lesson.
I won't
Learn
go
how to
through.
read.
I won't go through the whole lineup. I'll just give you the.
Give us top 15 or so, and
Yeah,
then,
we'll
then
go with that.
notables after that.
Yeah, so Billy Decker and Danny Johnson will make up the front row of today's Gander Mountain 150. Row 2, Ronnie Johnson and T-Mac, Tim McCready. Row 3 will be Billy Dunn, who graciously was with us last night. We'll wonder if he got those changes. They were talking about all the changes they were going to try to make to get that car faster. He's starting 5th, and Tim Fuller is scheduled to start 6th. Andy Bicchetti, the Wild Child, starts 7th. Ryan Godown is 8th. Row 5, you have Matt Williamson, Merrittville Speedway regular, starting 10th. Jimmy Blewett, normally pavement modified
Yeah, he's a pavement
extraordinaire.
specialist.
Yeah, also runs on the dirt down at New Egypt when he can.
Yep.
Next row, 6th row, you have Stuart Friesen and Wayne Jelly. Next row, Neil Williams. He's won the sportsman race here in the past in the 323 car, and he's got Tim Sears Jr. on his outside. Jimmy Horton is scheduled to start 15th. Friend of the show, Jeremy Wilder, he starts 16th on the grid. Matt Shepard will start in the 18th starting spot. Bobby Barron is starting 21st. Rick Laubach, 22nd. Vic Coffey, he'll start 23rd. Larry White is 24th. Mario Clar, one of my fantasy studs, he is starting in the 27th spot.
Yeah.
And he was second in the modified futures race behind Justin Wright.
Yeah, he was there. And then Kenny Tremont is scheduled to start 29th. And Willie Decker is scheduled to start 30th. And then you have your non-qualifiers that are going to have to race their way in here today. And there's a whole bunch of those.
Which we're not really sure how that equation is going to play out. The window of opportunity has been significantly narrowed by the weather.
Yeah.
So what we see in terms of a non-qualifiers race, or if it's held, or if they go based on time, or what, remains to be seen. Unfortunately, we don't have a whole lot to give you on that front. We were having trouble yesterday just finding the lineup for the non-qualifiers race.
Yeah, and I do not have the non-qualifiers race lineup here right now. I do have the pit stall selection. We talked a lot about that last night
Yeah,
when
we
guys
did.
were looking to pick their pit stalls. And it's interesting to see, looking at it here, well, I would turn it that way, but I can't. Billy Decker picked the first pit stall.
Which I'm assuming is the turn one end,
Yep, that would be the first spot. Tim Fuller picked the 45th spot.
which is the first spot coming in.
Yeah, and that's an interesting strategy. You know, a lot of talk was on that last year that if you pitted farther down the road, once you came out, you could get a little bit more speed coming.
The
off
other
of
thing
pit
that
road.
I'm wondering if he's gambling on, if you look at all the open slots between the last selected stall and
Yep.
where he is, you've got a lot of people that are having to either race their way in or they're going to take a final qualifying spot through the win in your event or rolling
Right.
wheels later on tonight, which we're going to be covering. Those guys might not be hanging around too long through the course of the afternoon, and that's going to open up a lot more space and reduce the
Well, yeah,
likelihood
you're
of
not
getting
sure-
boxed in.
Right, that makes sense. I mean, again, this is the 358 one. We don't have the big block.
Oh,
one
my
yet.
mistake.
That's
Sorry
okay.
about
No,
that.
but you're right in your
My
theology.
analysis was there.
Yeah, your analysis was right because these will be guys that will have to race their way in, and it could be guys that are going to, we'll use the term start and park, go out there, take the green, get their lap money. If they're running the series, they might not necessarily have the car to
Yeah.
run the whole 150 laps here.
Right.
No, we've seen guys that just come here, race their way in, go out there, take the green, run until they need fuel, and then they pull in, and that's that.
Yep.
So, that strategy might pay off for Tim Fuller. Tim McCready actually picked the first spot by that pit road.
Which
Yeah,
is a
where
great
they-
pick.
where they
That's a
go in and out
NASCAR
of the
pick.
pits.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
Big
because
wide
there's-
opening.
Because there's a
and-
break in the wall
Yep.
ahead of them.
There's the
Yeah,
break
there'll be
in the
nobody
wall.
there. So those are the spots that have been picked so far
Yeah,
here
Bill-
on the list.
I noticed Billy Dunn's on the other side of that break.
Yeah,
from
Billy
McCready.
Dunn's on the other side of it.
Which
so,
is another-
So he's got nobody behind him.
Which is
Yeah.
another good spot because he can kind of slide in and get pointed towards the out end.
Yeah, yep, slide
with
in.
that opening.
Yep, butt it in and off you go. So that's the pit road assignments here today. Again, starting lineup looks good. Billy Decker and Danny Johnson on the front row. So it should be a great race. I'm going to be interested to see what kind of curveball this weather does throw at those guys because it's definitely going to change the track up.
Yeah.
Anything that had been laid down, if there was any rubber, which I haven't really heard there wasn't much because of the clay that has been put down on the surface.
Track's going to be slower and narrower today.
Well, and the track's been slower all week, and part of that's I
Yeah.
think the clay.
The clay, yeah,
that's
because you're not
gone
getting
down.
the abrasiveness of the
Right.
cinder that you're normally used to
You-
running
you-
on. So
you're not
Yeah, and they
seeing
haven't
that.
run as many laps on it as they normally have by now either. They
Right.
didn't get
Well-
to practice in on Wednesday afternoon. They got on there late on Thursday. It wasn't until 2
late in the
o'clock
late in the
by
afternoon.
the time
yeah.
they got a car on the track. So, there's not nearly the amount of laps that they've run on this by this time of the week.
and we
that
haven't had
normally have.
Yeah, we haven't had the sun helping
No,
that.
not at
and,
all.
And usually at this place, you're looking at a real hard, slick,
Yep.
black, and the blacker it gets, the better the track is. For
Yeah,
yeah,
you
it gets
look at-
wider and everything else.
You look
Yeah.
at last
so-
year, the weather was perfect.
That-
It was very warm and sunny all week
Yeah,
long.
and I think
so
it-
they were racing on it every moment that they could.
Yep.
Yep.
And I think that actually was probably one of the better tracks I've seen here.
Yes.
In
This
we'll
place
call it
last
recent
year was
history.
as racy as I've ever seen it.
Yeah,
Yep.
and this will definitely, again, change things up. Definitely guys are going to have to change setups. What are
Yeah,
they going to
that-
do? We talked to Billy Dunn last night, and he was talking about the shock packages and how they have to change things and figure out what are we going to do with the way things are going? How are we going to change it? What's the setup? I joked with him. I've seen shock guys running back and forth down through these pit areas trying to take care of things. So we'll see what ends up turning out with that.
That's go ahead.
Oh,
Actually,
he's
we
got a phone call.
We're buttoned right up on top of. We don't have any conflicts here. The problem is back at the studio, they got another show that was coming on, and we have already overrun because we got the late start. So they're chasing us out. So
All right.
So we will we'll cut out and maybe
so we're
we'll
gonna
pop
we're gonna
back in
cut
here in
out
a while.
and
I think
we'll,
we pretty much covered most everything for this morning anyway.
we covered pretty much everything. Guys, we sure appreciate everybody hanging out with us here on the 31st lap. We are going to be back this afternoon following the 150. We'll be back tonight, somewhere around 10 o'clock after the race at Rolling Wheels. And then we will see you again tomorrow morning for a pre-race with the 200 and again with a pre-race a post-race for the VP Small Engine Fuels 200. We appreciate you hanging out with us, and we'll see you again later on because we got more shows coming right here on the 31st lap.